Hunter Biden, his trial is beginning today. The jury was selected yesterday. The charge against him, the principal charge against him, in fact, I think by and large the only charge against him, there's just, a couple different kind of ways that it's being organized, is that when he applied for a gun license, and he only held this gun for 2 weeks and then got rid of it. But when he applied for a gun license, he checked the box that said, I am not a drug addict. I am not currently using drugs. Now, his defense is arguing that the box was pre-checked. But, the box was checked and he signed the form. So, he broke the law, technically. And you can go to prison for this. But here's where it gets interesting. This is, by the way, from a fellow by the name of Richard. I'm not sure if he wants his last name said out on the air, so I won't. But thank you, Richard. He sent me this information. He said, first of all, under prohibited persons, this is atf.gov/firearms/identified-prohibited-persons. Anybody in America who smokes pot is prohibited from owning a gun. I'm guessing a lot of gun owners fall into that category right now, given how many states pot is legal in. Number two, the TSA confiscated over 6,000 guns at airport checkpoints last year. That's massive. It's a much bigger crime than not checking the box saying that, yes, I'm a drug addict and I want this gun. And yet, not a single one has been prosecuted. They just took the guns away or said, you can't take this gun on the plane. And then he looked at the FBI, the GAO report on the FBI. And they looked at background checks for firearm purchases. Now, this is where you check the box, right? This is what Hunter did. And they found 112,000 times, just in the year 2017, the last year we have stats for, where people filled out the forms incorrectly, just like Hunter did. 112,000 times. How many of those people were prosecuted? 12 of them. And presumably they did a whole lot more than just checking that box. So, here, this is, the FBI only has 3 days, he notes, to complete a background check, or the potential buyer can pick up the gun if the FFL agrees. By the way, had Hunter not bought the gun from a licensed gun dealer, he wouldn't have had to check the box. If he had bought it at a gun show, which is half of all gun sales in America, no box to check. Or at least that was the case before Congress passed this most recent piece of legislation. So it seems to me, and I'm all in favor of holding people to account if they commit crimes. But it seems to me like this is the most political of political prosecutions that you can imagine. And I'm guessing that point will be made in court. But keep an eye on this case. This is, and also I think it's worth noting, Donald Trump pardoned a whole bunch of people, throughout his campaign. His campaign chairman was a felon. He pardoned him. His deputy campaign manager was a felon. He pardoned him. His personal lawyer was a felon. When he turned, as Michael Cohen, when he turned against Trump, Trump had him sent to prison and then thrown in solitary confinement. His chief strategist was a felon. He pardoned him. His national security advisor, Mike Flynn, was a felon. He pardoned him. His trade advisor was a felon. He's in jail right now. His foreign policy advisor was a felon. His campaign fixer was a felon. And his company's CFO, Alan Weissenberg, they're all felons. I mean, when you surround yourself with felons, you might just be a felon yourself, or at least kind of felon adjacent. But, they're going after Hunter Biden. Got to show that Biden crime family is just as bad as the Trump crime family, right? Yeah.